Welcome to the MLFF podcast with your host, Commissioner B. Jack.
Welcome into episode 10 of the Major League Fantasy Football podcast. It's official. We are both literally and figuratively over the hill, as we've passed the halfway point of the fantasy season, and I've come to realize that half the league is now 40 or older. Only 5 more games until the playoffs. There are 4 teams on bye this week: the Ravens, Bengals, Patriots, and Jets. There's also an international game this week in Munich, Germany, at 9:30 a.m. on Sunday, so make sure you modify your lineups before then. Let's get to it.
We'll do it live! Fuck it!
Ben defeats Timmy by 11 points in the narrowest margin of victory this week to extend Timmy's losing streak to 5. Ben set an 89% optimal lineup to Timmy's 93%. JT was ruled out yet again, forcing Ben to play Nyheim Hines on his new team. Tyler Higbeaver laid a goose egg, or should I say a beaver egg, against the Bucks. But a surprise performance out of Mecole Hardman helped Ben prevail, along with help from Ramondre and the Patriots defense, who put Frank Reich out of a job. Robert Woods only saw 2 targets, catching neither, because Malik Willis only completed 5 passes on 16 attempts and kinda sucks. Woods' only points came from an 11-yard punt return. More like Robert Sapling's, am I right? A.J. Dildo's value continues to be shit along with the Packers, but Cordarrelle Patterson looked good in his return from IR. Ben and Timmy remain in 11th and 12th place, respectively. Dantos defeats Brian by 23 points with a 99% optimal lineup to my 89%. The Bengals put up 35 points against the Panthers in the first half, and the cool thing about that is Deonta Foreman got completely game scripted out. Shout out to Brandon Cooks, who was mad and put himself in timeout, which led me to start Kadarius Toney in his debut for the Chiefs instead, setting up a Sunday night showdown between him and Derrick Henry.
I'm in danger!
Naturally, Derrick Henry ran for 2 touchdowns in the first half, while Kadarius was only on the field for 9 plays. Justin Fields' recent success has come at the cost of David Montgomery's production. Dantos improves from 3rd place to 2nd, while I fall 2 spots to 6th. We both continue to lead our respective divisions. Jake defeats Spencer by 24 points with an 88% optimal lineup for his 3rd win in a row.
He's on fire!
Spencer's lineup was 86% optimal, and it's his 3rd loss in a row. Spencer's 80 points was the lowest score this week.
I shot myself!
Jake's 104 points was the fewest points scored in a win this week, and consequently the combined 183 total points was the lowest scoring game of the week, the 50th lowest score all time. Patrick Mahomes put up 38, but the rest of Spencer's lineup is pain, most notably Devin, who put the nay in Duvernay instead of capitalizing on a great opportunity. TJ Hawkinson fits right into the Vikings scheme apparently, but MVS is getting phased out, and A-Raj fucking sucks. Big shout out to Spencer for doing his part to keep Jake in the league. Jake climbs 2 spots to 4th place, while Spencer drops 2 spots to 7th and is clinging on to 1st in the North Division. Gardo defeats Jose by 44 points with an optimal lineup.
Perfect.
Extending his win streak to 5.
Boom shakalaka!
Jose's lineup was 99.9% optimal, and this loss is his 2nd in a row. Aaron Jones? Sucked. Gabe Davis? Sucked. Alec Pierce? Sucked. Mike Gesicki, believe it or not, also sucked. Kenyon Drake, Travis Etienne, Tyreek, and Juju all smashed. But Joe fucking Mixon ran for 5 fucking touchdowns and added more than 200 all-purpose yards for more than 60 fantasy points in what might be the greatest one-week fantasy performance of all time, but will remain unverified thanks to Flea Flicker's shortcomings. He outscored all 8 of Jose's other starters by 5 points. The number 60 will henceforth be known as a Mixon. Jose's 116 points was the most points scored in a loss this week, but still would have lost to 3 other teams. With a combined 277 points, this was the highest scoring game of Week 8 and the 100th highest point total all time. Jose falls from 9th place to 10th, while Gardo climbs 3 spots to 5th place. At 5-4, Gardo concedes division record to Spencer, but their overall records are now tied, and Gardo threatens to take over the North Division. Cody defeats John by 56 points, with both managers setting optimal lineups this week.
Perfect.
Travis Kelce had 17 targets. Could have given up a few to Kadarius, for fuck's sake. Devontae Adams also had 17 targets, but caught 2 touchdowns. It appears as though he is no longer sick. 2 is the top 4 QB as long as Tyreek is healthy, and Allen Lazard is the only Packer who had any success this week. I don't even know what to say about John's team anymore, so I'll just let Flea Flicker do the talking for me. Cody jumps 1 spot to 9th place, and John drops 1 spot to 3rd. T-Bear defeats Rhino by a Mixon.
That's a lot of damage!
Good for blowout of the week and T-Bear's 4th win in a row.
Boom shakalaka!
It was a top 50 blowout all time. Rhino's lineup was 96% optimal, while T-Bear's was 84% optimal, the least optimal lineup this week. That was entirely thanks to QB1 Justin Fields with his 55 points on T-Bear's bench, which would have made this the second largest blowout on the season. Kenneth Walker, Texas Ranger, is unstoppable, and Dallas Goedert finished as a tight end 1 with 24 points. The only glaring weak spot in T-Bear's lineup was the Bills' defense. Romeo Doubs got injured, but also sucks, and I guess I now know why Taysom Hill's projections are always so low on Flea Flicker. T-Bear's 163 was the most points scored this week, good for 66th most all time. Rhino falls one spot to 8th place, while T-Bear remains in 1st and leading the South Division. 5-4 John versus 5-4 Jake. John is favored by 52 points, the largest projected margin on the week, but Jake's currently Lance Bass, so this margin will narrow once he addresses the holes in his lineup. Jake won their last meeting by 33 points and is 6-2 against John all time. Hopefully Jake fixes his lineup before he quits the league. 5-4 Brian versus 5-4 Spencer. Spencer's a 44-point underdog, but we're tied at 3 wins apiece. I beat Spencer by more than a mixer in week 13 last year. A lot of favorable matchups on my side this week. 4-5 Jose versus 3-6 Ben. Jose is favored by 26, but Ben's currently Justin Timberlake, and this margin will tighten up once he makes bye week substitutions. Jose also needs to swap out Mixon. Jose is somehow 2-0 versus Ben and won their last meeting by 21. This might be the lowest projected total we have ever seen. 6-3 Dantos versus 4-5 Rhino. Rhino's a 25-point underdog and is 2-3 against Dantos head-to-head. Dantos won their last matchup by 15 in a high-scoring game. He better be careful here. If he beats Rhino, he may get his electricity turned off. 4-5 Cody versus 1-8 Timmy. Cody's an 18-point favorite and leads the head-to-head series 5-2. This is a rematch of last year's Super Bowl where Cody won by 54 to secure his first championship victory. I can't think of anything funny to say about this matchup. 7-2 T-Bear versus 5-4 Gardo. T-Bear is favored by 11 points in the narrowest projected margin on the week. The 2 longest active win streaks are going head-to-head with the highest combined projected total in Week 10. This is the game of the week. T-Bear is 6-2 versus Gardo and won their last meeting by more than a mixin. Bengals on bye means T-Bear's got to take Justin Fields for a test drive. The league payout standings. John remains at the top of blowout of the year, but with his blowout of Rhino this week, T-Bear moves into sole possession of second place for the most blowouts and is now only 2 behind John. Jose didn't submit his picks last week, instead opting to resubmit his picks for week 8 and didn't even notice it.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser! Good.
That drops him out of the lead for League Pick'em, down to 3rd place, moving Dantos into 1st and Rhino into 2nd.
Look at this shit.
That is it. The trading deadline is less than 2 weeks away. The playoffs start in 5 weeks. Week 15, that's 36 days away. Don't forget to submit the weekly pick'em like Jose did. Link to the form can be found in the commissioner's note and also as a pinned comment in the Discord server. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Just kidding. Eat shit.
Thank you for listening to the MLFF podcast.
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live! And thing sucks!